Hello YouTube, I am back again. I was dorking around and I worked for about 5 hours yesterday and I came out with this thing, whatever it is. I have no idea what to call it. Kinda was based off a sand rail or something, I don't know, but kind of branched off into its own weird thing. The basic idea was a simple model that has a 4-speed transmission and very good suspension, or like at least suspension. I don't know. I kind of just built it as I went, and it has suspension front and rear. This front barely moves. Back is just like fit of never mind. Okay then. Shock absorbers dislike me, but you know, it's sort of sturdy. Other than that little incident we had there, it's only because the rear shocks are only held by single pins, which I needed to change that. But it's got a V8 in it with two gearboxes, and the only reason there's two is because the front needed a gearbox for steering. It's only rear-wheel drive though, which is confusing. It's like you can see the gear spinning there. Oh no, you can't. Let me adjust that so you guys can see. And there we go. You guys can now see the gears. Now the way this works is that I didn't feel like making steering that went all the way to the back of the buggy, and I was just too lazy to do anything to actually make it work properly. So just in a second, let me get a pin or an axle, and here we go. So like this little thing in the side, you plug that in, and then it works. So the way it works is it goes from here to like a weird differential thing under here, or like basically turns the power sideways, and then goes to gear down here, which goes to a gear up here, which goes to a gear there, down there, and then to the wheels. And I know it's very crude and dumb and overly big, but it was just an idea, and I kind of built this really fast and didn't do much planning. And it was my first, decent suspension I've built that works well with steering and going up. Because usually most of my suspensions have one of two problems. Either they suck at steering, or they suck at actual, travel or actual suspension. Like the shocks pop off, like it did back there in the rear. But that's only because I have not finished with this thing yet. But basically, it's kind of weird. I'll have to pull off the front bumper and the cover. So pull this off and pop that out. You can see it. You can see those two little things that move back and forth. And the way it works is, it's kind of hard to demonstrate because you guys can't see it very well. But underneath there's you can see that little blue thing moving. That's a part of the black thing on top of the blue thing that's moving it back and forth. That's from the output of this gearbox. It goes to a big arm that moves back and forth, which then moves these two, this thing, which is connected to these two to keep it stable, and goes to this, so that it actually has connecting rods and moves the wheels. The suspension, it works great. I have no problems with it so far, even though I just finished the suspension 5 minutes ago. But then the V8, which I built in 2 seconds flat, I swear. Built it really fast and didn't put much time into it. But pistons are under there. I just put valve covers on because I really, and they move. It's just the suspension the transmission has some play in it, like a lot of play. You can see it's not moving, but the second I actually move it for a little bit longer, you can see the pistons moving. They don't move very fast, probably because of what gear it's in, but let me change that, see if that'll help. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's cool. I like it. It's a cool little addition to it, but the gearbox is super inaccurate and kind of crude, but whatever. And then the actual frame is pretty sturdy, hasn't had too many problems. Again, only have built this thing yesterday, so not much to go off of, but So far, it's working well. Just putting the front back together. There we go. Okay. So then we go into the rear, where we get to see the reason why that shock broke in the beginning is because you can see the shock is connected directly to the upper and lower control arms, which makes it to the point where, well, this one has no problem popping off. It never has, and it probably won't for quite some time, as long as I just keep it in check. This top one, though, literally, it's that easy to pop it off. So I'm going to need to do the same thing I did to the bottom. Once I do that, it should not have any problems. Fix this. Come on. Come on. Okay, and then another thing is the exhaust, which I kind of sort of built real fast. It's nothing serious. And then the rear lights with the blinkers on either side. You can't really see them. And then you guys can't see very well on camera, but underneath this mesh part, you can, well, I'll just pull it off. And then, yeah, it comes off that easy. There's reverse lights and another part to the blinkers. Originally, it just had two little dishes that had red lights in them as rear lights, but then I was like, you know, I'll put something. And then we have the spare tire, which is green. And then it only has one seat. And you can see the differential very clearly in there. It's non-locking. It's regular differential. And then it has this part which kind of opens, but I have no idea why. It's because I was running out of pieces and I kind of half-assed it, or whatever you would call it. Now here you can see in the interior, we have the steering wheel, which needs to be adjusted. We have this lever that doesn't do anything, but is literally just for looks. The steering wheel's not a lever. Let's move that out of the way so we can see. See, it goes up and down, clicks into place. And then we have the gear selector that just popped off because allegedly you can't use that little, what would you call that, hole too many times or else it'll not work anymore. Come on. Come on, I'm doing this one hand. Okay, shift that, move it over. If I can, there we go. And then we can do that again. Shift up and down. Now, I don't know which gears are which. I just kind of put that in there as kind of an aspect to kind of dork around with. I might make this motorized because it has so much extra space in the inside because I literally have nothing else to put in there. I just need to get some new servos. I need to get new motors, and then I need to get just because my other ones, their wires are getting kind of crap and they're starting to, like, literally, if I put it in a certain way, it doesn't work, and then the servo is completely dead now, and the remote is broken, and so, yeah. I'm probably going to get S-brick, but, you know, whatever. Here's the underside of it. This is what I was talking about, the whole steering. The steering goes to this, which then turns the power, and then goes through here to this, which goes to the gearbox, and then goes to the front. That wasn't too hard to understand. Then we got the engine. The engine attaches, you can see the pistons moving in there. Move very slowly because of the gearing that I have it on right now, but they move. I mean, maybe if I were to shift it, yeah, there we go. So you can see the piston moving, which the power goes from here to the differential, from the differential through this U-joint and another U-joint, which goes to the transmission, which then goes to the other end of the transmission, which then goes to the engine. That wasn't too much to understand either. It's kind of a complex method, but it works fine, and I'm happy with it. And I'm excited to do some more stuff and see what we have in store for this thing. I do need to do some more suspension work and all that, but once it gets done, it should be a great model. Another addition to all the different models that I've made in the past. Okay, goodbye. Nice knowing you.